Gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. And inch by inch and row by row, someone blessed these seeds I sow, and someone warmed them from below till the rains come tumbling down.
Good morning, YouTube. It's a beautiful day here in South Dakota. We've had plenty of rain the last few days. I've started planting down here. I got on this outside over here. I got one long row of corn, and once that comes up, it's up about a couple inches, I'll plant my next row. Hopefully today I'm going to get my one row of my beans planted here. I got one row of potatoes, which is covered with the grass clippings, and I just furrowed out for the next row here. I've been playing with the idea of the, roost out method of just throwing the potato on the ground and covering it with straw, but I just can't, with my shipping costs, getting my seed potato from Maine is relatively expensive, and I really had very little luck with the seed potatoes that I was getting locally here, at the farm store or whatever. So I got a good certified Katahdin, which is an overall standard potato. They have excellent storage and very uniform, 3.5 to 4 inches. So I'm hoping that I get a good bunch. That was one of the things that I ended up buying this last winter was potatoes, onions, and carrots, and I don't like it. But this furrow here, this is typical. This is what happens when I put my little plow on my rototiller on the Troy belt, which does a really good job. Well, that's about it for this one here. This one here I'll cover with a few inches of old manure, rototiller, and I may do one row roost out just as an experiment and see what happens. But other than that, I'm going to stick to the basics. Now I'll hold these potatoes up with the available dirt as they grow, and then once I've used what I have for banking dirt, then after that, I'll just wind the straw right to this whole bed. Both these beds will be completely covered with straw most of the summer. I'm going to have room here for one more long row on the outside, and hopefully I get the same thing with this one. This bed over here, I got this hog wire. You can see, I think you can see, leaned up against the trailer. And I'm going to put that right in the center of it over there. And hopefully I'm going to get my cucumbers to climb on it. And other than that, I'm going to put squash, melons, pumpkins, whatever I can cram in here. That's pretty much what this bed's going to be all about. I got the garden 3/4 planted up there. I got 5 pounds of onion sets, and I've planted almost all of them. So hopefully I'll get a good return on my onions too. This soil around here is a little lacking in phosphorus, and unless you want to go out and spend a fortune on bone meal or something, it's kind of a difficult thing to replace organically, especially with what I have available here for resources. Now, I read human urine is a very, very good source of phosphorus. I don't know. I still have reservations about pissing in my garden, but excuse my language. But we'll see how they do. All right, back to work. Here they come. Just open the door to let them out. coming out in search of the food. And they're still eating a lot. I fill their feeders up. I fill everything up to the max at night. And when they wake up, they act like they're starving to death. Some of them, the first bunch I got, are getting pretty big, really. Oh, fatso. Oh, fatso. They seem to be a pretty happy bunch of birds. These guys are going to be disappointed today because I'm going to let the little birds have this extra room today. Alright, later. Morning, guys. Slowly but surely I'm getting this thing cleared out. Geez, seems like I've still got a lot to do. But anyway, I'll take a walk out and show you what I've accomplished outside. My shop is just completely trashed. I can't wait to get this greenhouse cleaned out so I can get this whole place cleaned up. I've got this upper garden about planted. Corn that I planted a long time ago is just coming up. It's just so slow. I don't understand it really. I guess the ground is just still cold. Same as the beans. They're just starting to show up. Everything else is doing good. I've got one more row to plant. And that's all the room I got left here. These are up and growing like crazy. My other stuff here, my lettuce and collards are up and going well. I got to get in here. I got a bunch more annual herbs to stick in here someplace. I'm going to thin some of this stuff out. Rhubarb, still harvesting it every day. And I got to clean this all out and figure out what I'm going to plant in here. This is all onions here. I don't know if you can see it, but they're just taking off. I planted some of my tomato plants. I got one side done. And I'm getting sort of the same thing on these tomato plants as like I'm still working had on hers. Some of the lower leaves are yellowing a little bit, but I think they'll come out of it. The white that you see in these is, now there's one that's got the yellow leaf, you can see. And what you see in here that's white is crushed eggshells. I've got my compost rolled over, a bunch of it. And I've changed my plan. See, usually I have these sticks which go down here, and as I pile it in, I rotate it and leave a nice hole in the middle, but I decided to use the PVC. I drilled a bunch of holes in. I think it'll get better air down there. I know that it's very warm. You can hardly put your hand in the middle of it. It's so hot. So I just got to finish this one, cleaning it out, and then move this one to here and that one to here. I got straw growing in here and mushrooms and whatever. There just doesn't seem to be enough time in the day. I got all my potatoes planted. My little birds are getting quite a bit bigger. I don't know how they all... Now I got all the big ones mixed in here, and I'm not sure how they got in here. Oh, I left the door open. Great. So now they're all mixed up. But they don't seem to be picking on them. And it's just too much of a challenge to get them separated now. Jeepers creepers, what a mess. Anyway, I changed my plan a little bit. After the last video I took down here, I showed you how I furrowed out and everything, and I was going to hoe the dirt up on the potatoes before I covered them with straw, but by the time I pulled one side over and, you know, I had them covered with a good 3 inches of soil, and I just kind of smoothed it all out over both rows and wound the straw to it. Now I'm still gonna, I got a little bit of room along this edge here. I'm gonna pull that straw back and plant something. I'm not sure what. And I planted a whole row of mustard greens in here, giant mustard greens that I use for mostly for chicken feed. I'm sure I'll eat some. These friggin' dandelions are annoying. Look, they bug me because they look so shitty. But I have dug another little bed down here. I think I'm going to make it bigger. And this is because I got way more flowers than I know where to put. So I'm going to put them there. This bed here, I still got to cover with manure, work it up really well, set my hog wire in here, and then move all my plants out, all my cucumbers and melons and pumpkins and all that stuff. But I'm going to hold off until the 15th, you know, the frost-free season. Supposedly. I've seen it change drastically. I've seen it snow here on 1st of June. Anyway, I'm a little perplexed what to do with these birds, because I think when they get bored, they'll start pecking on the little ones. At any rate, you guys can probably see they've gotten a lot bigger. So it won't be too awful long before I have to start the dirty deed. But, alright, I got work to do. Hope you guys are having a great day. See you later.